All right, lesson 12, symbols of inclusion and order of operations, some more of that. Okay, right here they're just showing us some examples of inclusive symbols, okay? You're used to the parentheses, so that means you want to go to do the, when you see these, your eyes should be drawn to taking care of these groupings first. Okay, so this means the same as this. Here we have, these are parentheses, these are brackets, and these are braces, okay? Usually we start with parentheses, and then when we need to add more grouping on the outside, we go to brackets and then braces. That's kind of how we successfully go. And then we have a division problem here. I put that on there just to let you know that there are no braces or brackets or anything around the top or the bottom, but these are always, we always keep these, the top, separate from the bottom until the very end. Okay, so we do all the operations in the numerator and all the operations in the denominator before we ever do anything in between. Okay, and I'll let you, I mean, these are all the same, these top three are all the same answers. They're all 4 plus 6. They're all 10, right? 4 plus 6, 10, 10. In case it bothered you that there were some unevaluated, not simplified expressions, it does bother me. Okay, and that's 4 plus 6 on top, and on the bottom is 5 times negative 1. So on the top we have 10, and on the bottom we have negative 5, and now we go ahead and evaluate. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this. Maybe you want to try this first and then see how you did. That's always a good idea. If you ever are comfortable to pause me and give it a shot, that's a good way to learn, okay? So what I have here is 4 times 5. I'm simplifying so the more steps I take, I'd rather err on showing too many steps than not enough and then getting something mixed up in my head. Okay, notice these kind of filter down to a funnel. All right, and then we get a 5. So it filters down, turns into like a triangle. That's how I like to do these. Okay, now we're gonna get into some more. Here we go. I'm gonna keep this on the outside and deal with the inside. 2 minus 3 plus 5. Okay, so 2 and 5 make a 7. A positive 7 and a negative 3 is a, positive 4. I'm not going to write positive, I'm just going to write 4. Okay, and then I'm going to take care of this chunk. That's negative 6 times 6 minus 3. He hasn't done anything yet. So now I'm going to take care of the multiplication. So now we've got negative 12, negative 36, or minus 36, and negative 3. Everybody's negative, so everyone gets together. 12 and 36 is 48, and that's negative 51. Okay, now I might be making all kinds of mistakes. I don't have a book out open for me or anything to make sure I'm doing these correctly, and so odds are I'm going to make a mistake because I don't have any of you talking to me right now and pointing out where I make errors. So if you find one, go ahead and email me and say, hey, Mrs. DeShill, in lesson 12, right around 4 minutes, you made a huge mistake on example 2. You should probably go back and edit that because, and I might even give you some sort of prize if you ever find something that I have wrong, okay? My teachers used to give us presents when we found mistakes. I think she was afraid we'd fall asleep, but you guys, I know, would never. All right, look at this. This looks pretty complicated, but you just break it down into groups, okay? So I'm going to take the negative 2 is, since it's not included in anything, it's just going to have to wait. It's going to wait its turn, okay? So now in here, I'm going to combine those, and I get a negative 6. Then I'm going to combine the next, and it's another negative 6. And I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to move on. So now I got a minus sign here, and then I'm going to find out what's in here. Oh, negative 5. Okay, then the 3 there doesn't get to play yet, and there we go. So we've shrunken down a little bit from here to here, right? So it's good to just do it nice and easy, step by step. Okay. Now we have these three things multiply together, really. That's -2 times -6 times -6. We've got three negative numbers, so that's going to be a negative. And it's going to be 12 times 6, which is 72. So we're going to go -72. Okay. And now we have a -5. What does that mean? It means opposite of -5, so it means +5. Or you could think of it this way. Remember how I told you how mathematicians don't like to show everything? Well, on the outside of there, there's a invisible 1. Okay, so you can think of it this way. -1 times -5 is a +5. Okay? You're going to see this a lot later on, too, that there is an invisible 1 on the outside of a parenthesis. All right, +5. Okay, now I'm going to, that's -72, and a +10 is a -62. Okay. Let's now do this long, drawn out division problem. Now, again, we do the numerator and the denominator separate. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write the 5. And the -5 plus 3 is a -2 plus 7. And this is a +4. I don't know why. I think because I'm saying positive, my hand wants to write it. It's a +4 and plus 2. Okay, so that was step 1. I might as well do step 1 on the bottom too. Or I could finish the top. It's up to you. So like if I wanted to finish the top, I would just keep going. I'd say, all right, that's -10 plus 28 plus 2. Okay. Well, that's 30, and a -10 is 20. Okay, so the top has been simplified, and the bottom will probably be easier. Well, it is, because there's less numbers to deal with. Okay, so that is 4 minus 2 is 2, plus 3 plus 5. Okay, so that is 5 and 5 is 10, and that's 10. Now we take care of this. This does not stay like that. The answer is 2, 20 over 10. Okay. Next page. Oh, almost done. Okay, so let's go ahead and simplify this. Go ahead and do it on your own. Pause and then check. Okay. So I'm going to do -3. 4 minus 2 is 2. -5. I'm just going to go ahead and say +5 because that's like a -1 times 5. Okay, and on the bottom I'm going to do 4, and now we have a minus. I just know that, or it's 3 times -3, which is -9, but then there's a negative in front of it, so it's actually 4 plus 9. Okay, and now we have -6 plus 5 on top and 13 on the bottom, and looks like I'm going to have a -1/13 as our answer and call it good. Okay, go ahead and do the practice. Pause and see how you did. Turn it back on. Okay, so we have two groupings here for letter A. Make sure I'm focused. Okay, I have in here -5 times -5. Oh, and that's a +25. That was nice. I like that one. In here, we have 6 minus 2 is 4. Now, I could have used the parentheses or I could have left them off. Okay. Sometimes parentheses are extraneous or not necessary. So let's do it this way. 4 minus 6 is a -2. Okay, so what we really have here is 4 minus -2, which is the same as, remember, or add the opposite, which we've also talked about. That's the answer is 6. Okay. Letter C. We have the -5, or the -5. I'm trying to reach my arm around. Doesn't get to play yet. And in here we have a -6 plus 2, -2. Okay. So those two together make a 30. And those two together make a -4, and I get a 26. And it fell off. Okay. All right, let's do the last one. Or you already did. Let's see how you did. Okay. -3. And we've got a 2. And I'm going to go ahead and simplify that. And then we have 4. And I'm going to say +9 minus 13. Okay, now I'm going to, this happens a lot. I could probably have simplified there, but I'm just to show you can always go down a level. Okay, and that's -6 plus 4. Down here we have 13 minus 13. Haven't we talked about that? I'm going to have to double check in the book, but that's 13 minus 13, so we get a 0 on the bottom. I don't even care that the top is actually -2 over 0. What did we say happens when you divide by 0? That can't happen, so we're going to say undefined. Okay? Not, or sometimes you can say empty set. Okay? Now I'm going to double check the answers because I always get weirded out when they do that, so I do want to be sure. But if this doesn't get edited, it means I was right. So hopefully you didn't get caught by that. I just want you to get really used to not having a 0 down there in the denominator. Okay? Should be a big red flag. All right, and go ahead and do the even numbered problems and correct.